Wayne's World! Wayne's World!
Something way big has hit Paramount's King's Dominion.
Welcome to the all-new Wayne's World.
You call that big?
Actually, this is a scaled-down model. Observe as scaled-down Wayne enjoys excellent Lunchables, attractions, and the ultimate thrill, the hurler.
So get into Wayne's World in a big way at Paramount's King's Dominion.
Excellent.
Heads up, Disneyland. We have a new neighbor.
The world ends at the gate.
Not from this coordinate, Miss White. They're from California. Ooh, nice limo.
Is there a prince inside?
Sorry, girls, but any interest in a 100-foot grizzly bear?
Introducing Disney's California Adventure, a whole new theme park filled with Disney adventures and fun, right next door to Disneyland.
Let's go see him.
Easy, big guy. Nobody likes a nosy neighbor.
Call now to book your vacation at Disney's California Adventure.
Where in the world but ask the world can you have so much fun? Flying high, flying back, cooling off on the waterside. Thrills and shows both night and day, the memories will always stay. Trip on the loop, see them dance and sing. You won't believe what surprises will bring.
Test!
Where in the world but ask the world can you have so much fun?
So close to home.
Just about everybody at one time or another dreams of a trip to Europe, but just how many of us can afford it? I'd like to show you what you can do on this side of the Atlantic for less than $7. This is the old country, now being built by Busch Gardens at Williamsburg, Virginia, near Washington, D.C. And this book will help you plan a visit this spring when the old country opens. For your free copy, write Busch Gardens, Williamsburg, Virginia, and start planning to join us in the old country on this side of the Atlantic.
Islands of Adventure, the most amazing theme park ever created. Now thrilling families at Universal Orlando. Step inside the whimsical world of Dr. Seuss. Explore the real-life Jurassic Park. Ride with Spider-Man in the world's most spectacular 3D adventure. Come visit the all-new Islands of Adventure, one of 2 must-see theme parks at Universal Orlando. 2 parks, 2 days, one great vacation.
Imagine me and you and me. I think about you day and night. We had to be so happy together.
Hershey Park has been making people deliriously happy for 100 years. Isn't this the year you should find out why? The 100th anniversary celebration at Hershey Park. Come and stay. It's too much happy for just one day.
First came the Magic Kingdom, then Epcot, then Disney MGM Studios, and now... Introducing the most adventurous Walt Disney World theme park ever. Disney's Animal Kingdom, the imagination of Disney, gone wild.
Hey, someone tried to rob the train carrying all the Knott's Berry Farm season passes. Oh, I get it. Blame the train robber whenever someone robs a train. I'm out of here.
Get your season pass with no blackout dates, in-park discounts, and our new 4D ride for as low as 4 payments of $21.50 through May 25th.
Take a trip away from the everyday. Take a dream world one-day holiday. Take a trip away from the everyday.
New live format. What a waste of time for everybody. That's not a great way to start a show. Talk about something I haven't done for a long time, live streaming. Isn't it great to be back in the studio? I assume that the sound is going. We got things happening over here. We got stuff happening. It's too much happening over here. You look at this thing. I'm turning that off because it's just going and going. Yeah, it would be fine. It would be fine if not for the fact that every time that it restarts, you gotta wait for it. There it goes. It just puts the name and the thing down. It's gonna have to go into it. We're testing things out. We're seeing how this is. The inaugural live stream. I used to pour over these these weekly news updates every single week and take 70, 80 hours putting them together and getting 38 views. So we can get 38 views live, right? So let's just do it live, in the words of the immortal Bill O'Reilly. God rest his soul. I assume he's dead. He may not be. Who knows? What do you guys want to talk about? Hey, look, new formats. That's coming in from Lauren. Frequent contributor Lauren, who gets stuck going on a lot of adventures, including Epic. I think we put a video out not too long ago where we talked about our adventures trying to get into Epic Universe. I had booked my ticket well in advance, and I was going alone. And then Lauren said, "No, don't go alone. You want to come with me?" And then I couldn't get her the same date. But I am proud to announce that I have moved my date a week later. So instead of going opening weekend, I'm now going a week later. And I think that's going to be better because I'm not going alone. Because if I was going alone, I'd probably not ride anything and just take a bunch of videos that no one's going to watch because everybody's going to be taking videos. Some interesting things happening this week with Epic Universe. They announced last week that you can go and buy VIP tours and express passes, but a little bit of surprises there where express passes there's no unlimited, just one per, which makes sense. I mean, they've got to test this stuff out. They don't know any more than we know as far as what crowd capacity is going to be. I mean, they've run models and things like that. So I'm sure they have estimates and they kind of know what's going to happen, but this is new for everybody, including them. So they're expensive. I think for the summer months, you're looking at probably $230 to $260 a person to be able to have express passes, and you can only go on each ride once. And also, I don't think anybody is surprised by this. Donkey Kong and Harry Potter Battle at the Ministry are not included in the express passes. And I think that is probably due to the fact that those rides have been a little unpredictable in the testing. So we're not sure if this is going to be a Hagrid situation for Battle at the Ministry, or we're going to have problems keeping that up and running. Obviously, the wait times are going to be insane for those rides. Everybody's really excited to see them. A lot of people have gone through the queue of Battle at the Ministry for the team member previews and have said that it's amazing. The theming is amazing in there. A lot of people have said that this is going to be Universal's answer to Rise of the Resistance. And I'm excited to see it. Hopefully it opens with the park. I think there's a lot of questions. Lauren saying, "Oh, we'd only get one ride express for that price. Each ride once." That makes more sense. Yes. Not one ride. You get one ride for $260. That sounds like Disney pricing. Let's have a sip of, but today we're just straight vodka. On the stream, you got to stay hydrated, so I go straight vodka. That's why I use the Universal mug and not the Disney mug to preserve Walt's legacy of not being a drunk. Nah, I'm pretty sure he was a drunk. You know what? That'll be another video. Look forward to a video. It was Walt a drunk, coming soon to the TPNN YouTube page. So a lot of things happening. Epic is looking amazing. They just announced that there's going to be a portal tour. I don't even know what that is. It's coming to a bunch of select cities. They've got a giant portal a replica of the Kronos. I think that's what it's called. Look at these things. It's yeah, there it is. You can touch that and why did they pull a model out? I think it would be more exciting if they just pulled that model out that they've got in the preview center and took that around, not this gate. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. It's interesting though. There's a couple of stops, New York, Philly, other cities that I've never been to. It's interesting marketing. I think that by this point, anyone who is interested in going to a brand new theme park is well aware that there's a brand new theme park coming to Universal in May 22nd. They don't need a giant portal over by the Rocky Steps. Like when I'm going to the Rocky Steps, I want to take a picture with Rocky, with that Rocky statue, and pretend I'm Rocky, and then run up the Rocky Step, get about halfway through, and then you got to stop and you got to catch your breath. Then you try to run up a couple more steps, and you say, forget it. What's up there? An art museum? I don't want to look at art. I'll just go back to the bottom and pose next to that Rocky statue. And what was the deal with Rocky? Was it just me, or did Rocky just get beat up to the point where his opponents just got tired and then they fell down? It just seems like Rocky wasn't much of a fighter. But why is that what this show is? The show is just take Rocky down a peg, take American cinematic heroes like Rocky Balboa and say you're not that great. That doesn't seem well. Speaking of Epic, I've got just a little under 2 months before we're going. We go on June 1st, and I have made it a goal to drop 50 pounds by in 2 months. It's a ridiculous goal. I've already dropped 40, but I think I could drop another 50 pounds in 2 months. They say that it's not going to be safe. It's not safe for me to try to drop 50 pounds in 2 months, but I think I found a way to do it, and it's called just not eating, not putting food in my mouth. So I'll let you guys know how it goes. We're starting today, 50 pounds under 2 months. We're going to see if we can do this without dying and collapsing. There's just a couple of rides I'm worried about fitting on, so I'm not worried about accommodating me. I'm going to accommodate them by dropping 50 pounds in 2 months. So we'll, next week we'll have a counter. We'll have a counter up. Maybe that's what I'll put on the stupid TV instead of this thing giving everybody a seizure. I'll put up my calorie count or my weight loss, and we'll see how much I can lose in 2 months. I bet it's 7 pounds. That's my prediction. Go back and look at the show 2 months from now, and when it says 7 pounds lost total in 2 months, you can say, Matt, great job. You're a prophet. You should be working for The Simpsons. So that's enough about Porter Tour. If you want to see that big Kronos portal, if you want to, it's not the one. I mean, obviously the one is stuck in the ground in Orlando. But if you want to see that big portal, then go find out where the portal's coming near you. So Universal today launched a video talking about what's going on in Las Vegas and Scarecrow the Reapening, which I think a lot of people, if you've been in Horror Nights a couple of years ago, Nate Stevenson, I'm friends with that guy. I stalked him at Transworld. They showed a video on Scarecrow. I think it's good. Anna, can I do it? See, Anna believes in me. So this will be fun. I'm either gonna lose this weight or I'm gonna die. So either way, it's something for everyone. Scarecrow the Reapening, great house. I've done the house, but it's interesting because when I was at Transworld, I was actually stalking the Universal guys. And Nate Stevenson, you see right there, I got to talk to him for a little bit after one of the seminars, and he was talking some interesting things about Horror Unleashed. Of course, Horror Unleashed is the year-round haunt experience that is going to be in Las Vegas at their area, whatever. Let's say 18. Area arbitrary number. Interesting place. he was saying that he's shocked that more people aren't talking about the interactive experience of Horrors Unleashed. Horror Unleashed. I can't say horror, so it sounds like I'm saying horror, right? Horrors Unleashed. He's surprised that nobody's really harping on the fact that you're going to be able to go up to these scare actors as you kind of drink and get really drunk. This sounds like a terrible idea, but you can actually go up and talk to the walk around characters, and they'll interact with you in character. You can spend 15 minutes talking to them, and they'll respond back in character. I think that's kind of next level. That's one of the unique things that Universal is really kind of putting out there and trying and I actually I did stalk them. So I learned a lot from the Universal guys about what they are doing, how Horror Nights is kind of ran. And I'm putting out a video. It'll be out next week about some of the things that I learned from just absolutely stalking them. They were, I'm sure by the time Trans World was done, it's a big Trans World, if you don't know, is a big trade show for the Halloween haunt industry. And they had several panels that TJ Manarino and Nate Stevenson and the rest of the design crew for Universal Orlando, they did a few panels. So of course I took that opportunity to corner them whenever I could, give them as many alcoholic beverages as I could, and then ask as many questions as I could. And they actually did a lot of, they were incredibly open, really nice guys. The whole design team at Universal is incredibly nice. They were really open with what they do and some of the strategies that they do to going into Horror Nights. So just kind of some of the things I learned at the time, and this was about a little over a month ago that I was there. They said that HHN construction is about 40% done right now. So that probably means by now there's definitely a house that's completely finished, just sitting in the back lot waiting for people to get into it. So that's exciting. It's really cool to start getting excited for this stuff. We haven't had any house announcements yet. I'm sure that as we get closer to Epic being finished and opened, they're going to start talking about the event and giving us some house information. I'm sure that tickets will be going on sale soon for the event. It was interesting because they said that they keep their eyes on certain films, and he specifically said Terrifier being one. And I think that pretty much locks it up. Him, TJ Manarino definitely dropped Terrifier as one of the houses that or one of the franchises that they're looking forward to. So if you're a Terrifier fan or a fan of Art the Clown, I've never watched them because I started to watch them and it was gross. It was very gross. I'm a very demure person. I like my horror to be psychological, not just so much blood and guts. I can't deal with that. Look at me. I'm dainty. I'm a dainty petite flower who can't see all of those horrors without completely losing his mind. But if you are a fan of that, I think Terrifier is pretty much a lock. They didn't drop that out of nowhere. It's interesting though, because he said that they watched the trends in those movies. And so anything that's coming out in horror, they're watching it. They're seeing, oh, slashers are starting to come back in. We need to start adding that into the event. That needs to have a presence. And that was interesting to me. I never thought that, they would be looking at something like that in that way and then taking cues from it. But it makes total sense. And it's probably just says more to the fact that I'm just an idiot more than anything. I know it's hotly debated that, in fact, so one thing that they did say that since the beginning, since they launched this thing, there's been two complaints that people always throw at them. It's not scary enough and the lines are too long. And it was interesting that their response to that was, we don't care, we're making money. These two things are going to always be said. And the not scary enough thing, really, there's been a kind of an outcry in the last few years about And Kitty is saying, what if they deliberately tried to mislead me as far as the Terrifier thing? That makes sense. But then to the Terrifier point, the actor that plays Art the Clown actually dropped some hints also. And we'll look at the spec map in a minute. But there's some, it looks like we're getting Terrifier. But Kitty, yeah, no, I think they were deliberately trying to be, except for that one night when they were all kind of smashed. They didn't seem to be misleading anybody then. We just couldn't get their proprietary planning software out of them. That was, Kitty was with me a lot. She made friends with TJ. I think they're best friends now. He's going to have her out to his house. The one thing she was really trying to get was for them to actually just show her the proprietary planning software that they use, and didn't happen. But they definitely said that all ages Halloween is here to stay. And I know that there are a lot of people. I know, Kitty, you tried. There are a lot of people that wanted to really lean into the R-rated blood and guts, which if they're doing Terrifier, then they're giving you that. But they're also trying to broaden that audience, to bring in more of the PG-13 horror. And really, like, how gory do you want the houses? I think the houses are gory enough. I think the scare zones are gory enough. I don't think that trying to pull in all ages or have a house that's not as scary, comic houses, I don't think that's a horrible thing, because you're introducing new fans to horror, to these specific haunt experiences, and it's just going to lift up all the other attractions if you can get kids in at 10, 11, 12, the kids that can handle it. There's always going to be younger kids who cannot handle it, but you know your kids. And if you can introduce these horror fans, because also a lot of us are not the most healthy. I know how much I drink at Horror Nights. I'm not going to live much longer. We have to be making new fans, and some interesting things that they said that it has resulted in, and that's lower alcohol sales. But the alcohol sales have been replaced with merchandise. So they're not selling as much alcohol, but what they are selling is all of that merch, which is a good thing, because that means we'll get more merchandise. We'll have more collectibles to buy. We can sneak alcohol in it. I mean, the alcohol is everywhere, right? But if they sell more alcohol, it doesn't mean they're going to have a bigger variety of drinks. So it's kind of cool that they are making these more fans, and that they're catering to a wider audience. They just need to probably smack some of these kids a little bit. Starting in August has been very successful for them. In fact, they've said that they haven't found a window from August to late or to early November. They haven't found a break point. They haven't found a point where the event doesn't sell. And again, that's really good for horror fans, for fans of haunt attractions. They're going to be able to give us more experiences. They're going to give us experiences like Horror Unleashed. That's going to be big, because it takes you out of that window of Halloween, and it shows that, hey, this can be more viable. And that's going to be good for local haunts, for smaller haunts, for mid-size haunts. It's going to be good for everybody. It's going to be good for business. And more importantly, it's going to be huge for horror fans, because it's just going to be a profitable thing that we'll be able to see more than, a few days every October or late September to October. So I'm really excited for Horror Unleashed. I'm putting together a matrix for everybody to see how this works, because it's like, hey, we got to go to Vegas now, and when do we do it? Do we do it afterwards in November? With doing Horror Nights in October, it's the matrix. There's power in the matrix. So if you want to come to Vegas with me to Horror Unleashed, drop me a line. We'll meet up. I don't care. Everyone come. I get like my wife when she's just inviting random people at the bar to horror nights every year. Nobody ever comes. Yeah, some people come. Well, let's do it. Let's take a look. Let's look at the newest HHN spec map. Obviously, this is all cryptic and unknown, coming to us from the Twitter account HHN Nightmares. They do God's work. If you don't know how they put together their lists, they take a look at all the rumors and they've got agents. I think they've got sleeper agents and like construction and they report back and they get kind of ideas of what's happening. And then instead of putting just words up here, they've decided to put like little cryptic puzzle grams. And here they all are. I don't know half of them, but if we can take a look at what the internet thinks they know, because the internet knows all. So starting with we'll start with the most obvious. In the Fast and Furious queue is a security camera. Everybody's pretty confident that that's alluding to Five Nights at Freddy's. I have no attachment to Five Nights at Freddy's. It's a thing that I've seen kids talk about. There's always there's a bear. There's a giant bear that walks around and jumps and kills you. I don't know. I can't decipher this. It's the kids. It's like Roblox. When I figure out what a Roblox is, then I'll figure out what a Five Nights at Freddy's is. Don't you like on the inaugural stream? I'm just saying I have absolutely no idea what a Five Nights at Freddy's is, and just upsetting half of the kids out there. Fast and Furious, if that's where they're putting it, there's going to be a lot of big suits, and that's going to be a smaller house and a more contained environment. So that's I have no feelings. I'll go through it. It'll be fun. Over in one of the tents, tent 4, there's garbage bags. The consensus is that that's where Terrifier is going to go. I think it's interesting. I'll tell you what I like about Terrifier and Terrifier's inclusion in Horror Nights this year, if it does come to pass. It's really cool seeing somebody who put out a very independent movie, 3 very independent movies. I mean, none of those movies were financed by any big studios, and they found success. They found so much success that, they gave us a new horror icon with Art the Clown, which is fascinating. And then also made a ton of money to the point where now the largest Halloween experience in the world is bringing them in to potentially do a house. So I think this will be blood and guts and creepy clown jumping out at you. Again, I'm going to have to actually go back and try to watch these movies without throwing up everywhere, which will be fun. I don't typically like to throw up, but the things you go through for art, not the clown, the actual, you know what, never mind. Up at the top, soundstage 25, or up at the soundstage. That's one of the bigger sound stages where they had like Dead Man's Pier and some of the other stuff. That's this is, again, the internet, the experts that are the internet. Rumors are everybody's hoping it's Scream. Scream has had a crazy time, a crazy history of popping up all the time on lists. Everybody wants it. I adore Scream. I love the first Scream. I liked the second Scream. You know what? I celebrate the entire Scream movie catalog. So, a lot of Ghostface popping up. And if this is true and we are getting Scream, it'll probably be, one of the big pushes this year. It'll be all over the marketing. And I'm here for it. So I hope it finally is. Several years ago, they came very, very close to having a Scream house. They got pulled last minute. So this will be a triumph. And apparently, I think the rights were owned by Disney under Miramax. But I think now that's been cleared up and the rights are with Lionsgate, maybe, I don't know. One of the other ones. So as long as it's not Disney, then there's probably a chance that they're going to get it. So, or they at least they have the potential to get it. I'd like to see Scream. What do you guys think? You guys want to see Scream? Soundstage 22 is a thumb, and everybody's saying thumb. That's a Fallout thumb. So, are we getting Fallout? And if we are getting Fallout, will it be the TV show or will it be the video game? A couple years ago, we got The Last of Us, and it was the video game, and it was a good house. And there's a lot of people that are complaining that Fallout isn't horror enough, but you can make a great house out of Fallout. I mean, just imagine you start off in a vault and people are going nuts and there's murder, and then you go outside the vault. Potential for a lot of good horror, a lot of good jump scares, a lot of great makeup. As post-apocalyptic houses always have great makeup, and Fallout's it's beloved. People love it, so I'm not mad with it, and I certainly love Fallout. I'm more of a fan of Fallout 1 and 2, the turn-based ones, which is crazy. People are like, what about the first-person stuff? And I'm like, I don't care about that as much. I like to click on things. I like to click and then wait, and then click and wait. I think that's just because I'm old. Soundstage 23, don't know what that is. It's a bloody film strip. We do know that it does show up in Hollywood too. So usually any of those shared pieces are IPs. So we definitely think this is IP. There's been really no one kind of definitively saying, I think this is this. So who knows what this could be? I've seen a lot of speculation that maybe this is indicating that we're getting Scream, and that the other one might be a Scooby-Doo house, but I can't imagine that they would actually do a Scooby-Doo house. Rumored heavily, I think just among people, was Beetlejuice, which people say that Beetlejuice might be the ghost in the, but I don't he's not a ghost detective. But yeah, no clue what that film strip is going to be. Maybe they've got a huge surprise for us this year. Maybe there's something that's just going to make us lose our minds that we just don't see coming at all. Maybe that's the one that they announced first. It would be crazy if they give us both Scream and then some other bucket list franchise like a Gremlins or a Friday the 13th. We definitely know that Peacock is going to have a prequel coming out, so we may see that house in prequel form next year. But it could happen. Who knows what it is? I think the rest are probably exclusives, are probably non-IP. So your guess is as good as mine. I have seen a lot of people say that they think that Tent 1 is probably that chains and nails and it was in cinema, horror, sinister cinema. This is when it's too much. I'm drinking too much. This is why you don't do. That's why you don't do all that vodka. So who knows? There's a book with snow on it. Maybe it's Snow Books. That doesn't make any sense. Why there would be a house that at least wait times would be really, really low for a house called Snow Book. A lot of people are speculating Scary Tales I've seen online. Some people suspecting maybe Killer Kringles, also from the cinema house last year, Slaughter Cinema. I don't know. It does seem that we do, after having a slaughter cinema, we do get a house based off of one of the vignettes. Like they test some things out and what's more popular. So that'll be interesting. The other soundstage down at the bottom, which is always seems to be one of my least favorite houses. Rumors are that there's going to be a pirate house, which would be pretty cool. Ghost pirates are cool. Non-ghost pirates are cool. So I could see that. I think it'd be cool if they actually put a pirate ship together. I have no idea what the Reaper Skull City Angel Wings. There's been speculation that is maybe a scare zone from Hollywood. I believe it was Urban Commando. No, that's a Hulk Hogan movie. Unsure. Who knows? We'll see. Same thing with the space thing. Now the tent too. If that's gonna be a space horror, some kind of original space horror, that would be great. You know that the costumes are gonna be awesome. I'd go to space horror. And I am saying space horror, not space horror. It's a different house. I don't know. What do you guys think? What do you think's coming this year? Are you excited? It's hard to get excited when we still got Epic Universe and 6 months to go before I guess it's less than that. It's probably less than 5 months now, right? We just have to make it to August. They're going to be doing Premium Scare Night again, which is fun. I think that's going to be the strategy for us this year, is to go to Premium Scare Night and then a month later, 2 months later, go to Vegas to actually do the Horror Unleashed. I think that's a really interesting concept. Universal's doing some interesting things. They've got the new Fan Fest nights where they're doing something similar, but with similar to Horror Nights, but with kind of geeky IPs. Like Back to the Future. I really think that's cool that they're trying to do more experiences, kind of like some of those experiences like in New York had like Sleep No More. I know their friend Kitty definitely went to Sleep No More. It's interesting to see that they're trying to put together more interactive experiences. I think that Horror Unleashed is definitely going to be a trial run for some of these larger, loftier ideas. It makes sense. You can try out things like increased interactivity with actors. You can try that in a smaller venue that isn't necessarily going to, force you to commit on a level of something like at Horror Nights. So I think we're going to see a lot of more unique ideas coming from Universal. They're definitely, Chris is saying, what is TPNN? TPNN is Theme Park News Network. Or as I like to say, it's branding, where I talk about theme parks, but only the Orlando theme parks is what it's become, because it just seems to be where I like it. And Chris, right now we're just kind of talking about Horror Nights and what's going on and what you're excited about, what you'd like to see, as the thing just keeps giving people seizures in the background. That's got to stop, right? Universal is, so it's interesting because I think my Universal fandom is starting to overtake my Disney park fandoms. And a lot of that has to do with Universal is speaking to me on a level that's kind of, at my core, a little more what I respond to. There was an interesting thing in the 60s. Avis, was it Avis? I think it was Avis Rental Cars ran a campaign that said we're number 2. And their whole kind of take on this was we're number 2, so we have to try harder. And I think that's what you're starting to see with Universal. They're starting to look at Disney. There's the cracks in the Disney. The Disney machine is always going to be there. It's always going to be riding a wave of nostalgia that's going to bring back generations after generations of families. They're going to bring their kids. They get to they don't get to coast, because we've definitely seen that there are spots where they're dropping the ball a little bit. And Universal has gone in big and said, we can fill these holes with unique experiences that Disney can't necessarily get away with playing with, in spaces that Disney can't get away with playing. I mean, leaning so hard into horror has been immensely profitable for Universal. They get to speak to and cater to an older audience, and they definitely, with their rides, you've got more thrill rides, you've got more coasters. It's speaking and it's pulling in a slightly older audience that, especially with teenagers, might not think it's cool to go to Disney. It's like, that's baby stuff. I went there when I was a baby. I'm not saying that. I will ride nothing but dark rides for the rest of my life if that's what it is. Put me on a dark ride, I don't care. Slow moving Disney boat ride, I'll ride that for the rest of my life. In fact, if I only had to ride one ride for the rest of my life, well, it'd be the Haunted Mansion. But a close second would be the People Mover. Just put me on the People Mover, give me some vodka, and let me just zoom around Tomorrowland and get drunk. But Universal is, at being number 2, they get to try things, and they're taking a huge swing with Epic Universe. They're putting, sure, they've got Potter and Super Nintendo, which are huge franchises, but then they take something like Darkmoor and Dark Universe and the Universal Monsters, and they make an entire experience, an entire land, an immersive land, and they drop people into it, and that seems to be what everybody's responding to. Chris over in the chat has said that he's been following HHN for well over 10 years. Have you? And what's it like? Chris, I will never, like, the things that would have to happen for me to miss a Horror Nights at this point, and I wasn't even a big fan of horror. I'm not the biggest fan of horror, but then doing my documentary with the lovely Red Vein, who are some of the best people that you'll ever meet, it kind of gave me a love and an affinity for haunted attractions of all things. So where I'm not a huge fan of horror, I'm the biggest fan now of walk through haunted attractions like Red Vein, like Horror Nights. So it's a big party. The entire Universal Studios kind of shuts down. The lights go off. There's gore and body parts, and you get 10 houses, and the sets are all pro level movie sets, So when you're looking at and going through something like Insidious, it's like, this is amazing. I mean, I'm essentially on these movie sets, and I wouldn't miss it. So, Chris, if you have never been to a Horror Nights event, definitely put it on your list, put it on your bucket list, and do an RIP tour. I cannot vouch for getting in there, paying the extra money, and doing a tour and getting to cut all the lines. Everybody knows how fancy I am, and I like to be able to cut in line and say, okay, everybody stop for me. I got to go in here. I'm an RIP, which we all know is bound to happen eventually when my heart gives out. So yeah, go do it. Go spend the money. Go see if you like it. Do a night. Do an RIP tour, and I don't think anybody's in between where they're like, I'll take it or leave it. Most people are either hardcore into it after attending an event, or it's not for them. So you'll know pretty quickly. Now, I mean, one thing though, it is loud. If you do have any kind of sensory issues or very sensitive to crowds, crowd levels are very, very, very high. Then, make some accommodations, get some headphones, to find some places to chill out, because if you're prone to getting very overstimulated, then that's a place where you're going to get overstimulated. A lot of stuff in your face, a lot of screaming, a lot of loud music, but I wouldn't have it anything else. So Universal, though, they're number 2. I don't think I don't think there will ever be a time where they'll be able to get to number 1. I mean, Disney's Disney. But ever since they changed the game, especially with Diagon Alley, I think that Diagon Alley was one of the most amazing, most immersive spots where you go in and you're in there, you're living it. And definitely you can see the footprint and the blueprint kind of being copied by Disney, where, you know, it used to be, hey, well, Universal, they're just kind of aping what Disney does. Now, I think, especially with the Potter immersion, you can kind of see where Disney's like, oh, we need to take this idea and apply it to something like Pandora, or apply it to something like Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. You could see the blueprint of Diagon Alley and what Universal was able to achieve with that. You can see it all over those areas. And just like everything else, competition is a good thing. Competition breeds the best. Disney, I think, got a little lazy, and they let Universal come in with this epic universe and create something amazing. Just the fact that that Celestial Park, the main section, you can really see the influence of kind of what Disney had announced with Epcot, where they wanted these more open spaces, but then scaled it back after the pandemic. Universal came back and they gave us fans something that we aren't used to seeing out of Disney, and that's they showed us concept art, and then that concept art really paid off, especially in Darkmoor. Because when I was looking at Darkmoor, when I was looking at Dark Universe, I'm thinking there's no way they're going to actually come through and make that section look exactly like the concept art. And I was talking with the Universal design team, and I was able to actually say that to them, and they were like, yeah, we like, that's one of the biggest things that we're taking pride in, is that everything that we showed you with Epic Universe, all of the concept art, the Burning Blade Tavern, Super Nintendo World, the Wizarding World over the Harry Potter in Paris, it's exactly what they showed us, and they delivered on it. I can't wait to go in there, and as a fan of those classic Universal monsters, see that windmill explode in flames. It's crazy. Like, I get choked up thinking about the fact that I'm going to be in, and also just the way that social media is now. There hasn't been a major theme park open in Orlando since 1999 with Islands of Adventure. And that's one of the things that Nate Stevenson said, was that, you know, we're not ready to go into a park that is 100% 2025 technology. He said that a couple of times. This isn't just a new ride that's dropped in an existing park. This is several new rides, all using what they've learned from Harry Potter, what they've learned from giving people these immersive experiences, these interactive experiences. This is everything that they've learned, coupled with 2025 technology and robots and drones and flying I mean, they're making dragons fly via drones. They took all of this stuff and they're opening a park that is 2025, that is cutting edge. And it's going to be interesting to see how it does and how it performs against Disney. Disney's position on this is that, much like everything else, the success of something down the road from them just means more success for them. It brings everybody up because it brings tourism to the area, and the people that will spend a few days at Universal will also come over to Disney, and they'll see some of those crowds as well. But, you know, with the opening of a third park, we're not going to say a fourth park, even though they would like to say the Volcano Bay is their third park. The water park, it's not the same. with the opening of that park, it's doing something that Disney's probably not happy with, and that's it's giving guests more days that they spend at Universal. You know, they've got to spread it out longer. So what used to be a 2-day trip or a 3-day trip becomes a 4 and a 5-day trip as Universal keeps them there on their campuses, and they're eating and they're having interactive experiences. They're consuming things like their escape room. According to the design guys, the escape room has been a huge success because it's keeping them on the campus, it's keeping them there at City Walk, and it's stopping them from going down the street and going to Disney. I know that I'll usually take a day and go to Epcot, but that's becoming less and less as I just spend more time at Universal because it's just easier. I'm enjoying it more. They're trying harder, and Disney needs to step up, and they need to remember who they are and how they got to where they are with excellent guest satisfaction and service. So it'll be interesting to see when they respond to all of this in a couple of years with the new stuff that they've got going, like Indiana Jones and the changes to Animal Kingdom, and obviously the sweeping changes that are going to be transforming the Magic Kingdom. But it also means they've got a couple of years where there's going to be a lot of construction walls going up in those parks. And Universal just opened a new full theme park that you're seeing the commercials now. You're seeing people go nuts for it. And it's interesting because for someone like us, like super park fans who really into this stuff, because of social media, because of just how the way the world is now, we got to see this park develop for years and years and years when it was just flat raised land to now when the park's about to open. We got to see it happen. And I'm excited. I got less than two months. I've got to lose 50 pounds. We're going to try to lose 50 pounds before we get there. Guys, I'm going to die. That's just the long and short of it. I'm just going to die. Let's get some more. Okay, I lied. It's not vodka. It's in fact just water. Plain old drinking water. Staying hydrated, trying to lose 50 pounds. Dribbling all over myself on live digital realness. Dribbling in 1080p. Well, that was good. We're shaking some rust off. It looks like I can speak for an hour. I was worried that I wouldn't be able to find enough to talk about because I definitely did not put enough topics on my screen, but we made it through. What do you guys think? What do you guys want to talk about going forward, like next week? Let me know. Shoot me a message. Put a message down here in the comments or wherever the comments are, wherever you're watching. You can find us all over the place. YouTube at, I don't know, Theme Park NN. On you on the other one, Facebook. You can find us all over. Just drop me a message. Most of you guys just know me. Drop me a message. Say, hey, Matt, where should I watch it? What's Chris say? Chris said, I could just ride between the Haunted Mansion, Peter Pan, and Jungle Cruise back to back, though the Harry Potter ride was mind-blowing and still is. Chris, I'm right there with you. If I had to pick a ride to go to just stick on forever, it's going to be the Haunted Mansion. Everybody knows that about me. I'm weird because I very rarely ride Peter Pan. Jungle Cruise I'll do all the time. Jungle Cruise, hey, everybody loves a good pun, and if I ever leave my job and go work at the park, I'm gonna I want to be a jungle skipper. Although I don't think I would follow the script I know there's no script per se, but I'd go on. Like the Jungle Cruise would get dirty. I would just dirt it up. There'd be a little kid in the thing, and I'm like, you see that over there? That's just an animatronic. These aren't actual. I'd probably just try to break the immersion, which is just the worst thing you could do. And I'd be so mad if somebody did it to me. But yeah. Harry Potter, yeah, the Harry Potter rides are awesome. I just go to Diagon Alley and just hang out there and look at the signs, the signage and the weathering and those sets are just nuts. All of those signs are like are hand painted and it's just nuts. I finally got on the Simpsons ride after the last visit. I have never ridden. Chris says I would be the best skipper. I would not be the best skipper. I'd just be braking. I'd like the backside of water. I wouldn't do the backside of water thing. I'd be like, now the eighth wonder of the world. And then I just wouldn't complete it. Like I think I would do all of the established puns that everybody looks forward to on that ride. I would just do half of it. So it wouldn't be good. What ride would I want to work? That's an interesting question. What do you guys think? What ride would you guys like to take? You gotta take the Haunted Mansion out of it for me because I would want to work the Haunted Mansion. But I don't know what would be fun. Easy Rise of the Resistance. If I was gonna be a cast member and work one of the attractions, 100% it would be Rise of the Resistance. I love that ride. I love that ride when that ride is half working. That funny story about me, for somebody who loves parks as much, I can't stand like drops. And Rise of the Resistance was the ride that ushered me into being able to do Guardians of the Galaxy. I almost died on Guardians of the Galaxy. I just can't handle that much adrenaline. You've never seen a guy talk so much as when I got off of Guardians of the Galaxy. I was just having a fit. I wouldn't stop. But yeah, Rise of Resistance. I would want to. I mean, can you imagine going to work every day on the in the bay of a Star Destroyer in uniform, and you get to pull guests and pull them into jail? It's nothing better. Nothing better. Give me, and you'd have to give me one of those droids. Something interesting. I don't have a shot of it. Maybe we can pull this up. Disneyland just released their during their season of the Force. They just debuted a walk around Luke Skywalker and R2D2. R2D2 is awesome. Like, that's amazing. Let me see if I can find a picture of this sucker. But the Chewbacca and even like the Rey and definitely the bounty hunters, Boba Fett they look great because you can it's hard to like look up things and give me an image. They just debuted a Luke Skywalker character though, and full screen this. I don't know what to think about this. Of course, I opened in the wrong tab. Do you think that there's room for, like, can you suspend your disbelief and actually look at a Luke Skywalker character that's not Mark Hamill? Because look at this guy. Yeah, look. So I'm supposed to go up to this guy and say, "Hey, this is hi, Luke." No, it's just some kid, right? Like that's some kid from a popular. I'm pretty sure that guy was on Dawson's Creek, and that's the most timely reference I can do right now. Dawson's Creek. I don't know. I don't know if I can do it. Part of me is like, just think of it as that the Mark Hamill was just the actor that plays Luke, and this is the actual Luke. I can't do it. I'm looking at that guy and I'm just saying, nice wig. Can I just talk to R2? That's what I would want to do. I was like, can you step over, Luke? Can you use the Force over there and step over there? I'm gonna have a conversation with R2D2. Let's end this thing. I'm just babbling about weird looking Luke Skywalkers. Nothing good comes from that. Follow me, follow the show. I don't know. However you follow people. Know the zip code for Jared's asking. Know the zip code for Dawson Creek. I don't know the Dawson's Creek zip code. I know that it was North Carolina, maybe, but that's the worst. Lauren saying that Philadelphians are going to come for me after the Rocky rant. Philadelphians are going to come after me anyway. Philadelphia, the legacy of Philadelphians is they like to throw batteries at people on stage. Oh, hi, Luke. I can't get behind it. I can't get behind that. It's a weird looking Luke. That's all I can say. 90108. There you go. Jared coming in clutch with the Dawson's Creek zip code of 90108. Oh, God. For our lives to be over. 90108 for our lives to be. I just fell for the worst. Jared, you're kicked off the page. This is how this. I just want you to know that this is how the stream ends. You're responsible for how the. Oh, and Lauren knows it too. This is how the stream ends. Me, 90108 for our lives to be over. I'll talk to you guys next week unless I decide to jump off a bridge. No, I gotta lose 50 pounds in 2 months. We'll see. We'll come back. Let me know what you want to see. What do you want to see out of this? We'll talk theme parks. We'll talk anybody. We'll talk about how the thing just keeps showing up. I gotta get a better loop, better TV. I'll see you guys later.